Welcome to the Forefront Radio. Welcome to the Forefront Radio. I'm your host, Afiel Levi Israel. We got another exciting episode for you today where we come across Bible prophecy and current events. Welcome once again to the Forefront Radio. If you're new to the Forefront Radio, I invite you all to click the subscribe button that you see right at the bottom of the screen here on YouTube. Also, click the like button, which is the thumbs up button that you see right there. If you like the information presented here on the Forefront Radio, do me a huge favor. Tap the screen, get the likes up, and share this video with at least 10 people. Once again, I'm your host, Afia Levi, and today we're going to ask a pressing question. Why should Africa continue investing in America or in any Eurocentric system that has been designed since its inception to betray us time and time again, whether we grew up in the Americas, Caribbean islands, or in the continent of Africa? We've always come across those that do not have our best interests at heart. Last week, we uncovered how Cecil Rhodes and the De Beers Empire exploited the lands of South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Zambia, waging wars against the Zulu, Matabele, and Shona people, leaving millions of our people displaced, deleted, and unfortunately, without riches to show for all the years, centuries of exploitation. We show how Rhodes used the British South Africa Company to strip Africa of her diamonds, gold, and land, wealth that still props up Western corporations today while leaving Africans in poverty. That history sets the stage for today's discussion, which goes into the exploitation that we can trace all the way back to Cecil Rhodes' time, is now still shaping Africa's struggles in 2025. So join us on this remarkable discussion here on the Forefront Radio, where we go in depth and discuss how Africa is being exploited, y'all. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's talk about Botswana's health crisis, the modern fallout. Excuse me. On August the 26th, 2025, Botswana declared a public health emergency. Medicines for hypertension, cancer, diabetes, tuberculosis, and even basic medical supplies are running out. Clinics are empty. Elective surgeries are being canceled. People's lives hang in the balance, literally. Why? Three reasons. Primary reason, diamond dependency. Diamonds make up nearly 80% of Botswana's foreign earnings. Foreign earnings. When global prices fell and synthetic stones started to flood the markets, the economy started to collapse. Who created that dependency? De Beers, the same colonial company birthed by Cecil Rhodes. Number two, inflated medicine costs. Pharmaceuticals are priced high, very high, 5 to 10 times higher than what is sustainable in this country, making them nearly impossible to procure. Imagine you had medicine that used to cost $5, and then that same medicine that you used to buy costs $500. Yeah, that's crazy. Number three, United States betrayal. America once funded a third of Botswana's HIV and TB programs, but those funds were cut when needed extremely for partnership. Washington turned its back through the current Trump administration. This is no coincidence, folks. It is a legacy of exploitation. Section 2, we're going to talk about Roads to Revelation, the colonial playbook. Cecil Rhodes and the De Beers Company did not just strip diamonds, they engineered dependency. They ensured Africa's mineral wealth flowed outward while our nations remain tied to unstable markets, meaning keep these nations underdeveloped by causing them to be overly exploited. Now, when the diamond bubble bursts, as it has in 2025, the people suffer. Hospitals are collapsing, medicines are vanishing, and instead of support, Eurocentric countries hike up the prices or cut aid. Think about that, y'all. Drag the rug from under you while you're the one that sustained their nations. Think about this, y'all. It was the gold and diamonds of Africa that sustained Europe after World War II. How do you think the Americas, as well as the Europeans, were able to rebuild themselves after World War II, after blowing themselves to hell and back? Come on, y'all. They had to use the Caribbean islands, Latin America, and Africa. Now, the Bible warns us about the merchants of the earth, the corporations of the earth. Listen close. Revelation chapter 18, verse 11 says this: and the merchants of the earth, that's your corporations, that's your stores, that's your businesses, that's your colonial enterprises that started through trade and traffic, shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys her merchandise anymore. The merchandise of trading in gold, silver, and even souls of men and slaves. What Cecil Rhodes began in the 1800s, America continues today, profiting off the suffering of God's children on the earth. Let's talk about the prophecy of betrayal. Let's talk about how the Most High told us clearly that we would, if we trusted in other nations, we would be betrayed, right? Let's go real quick to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. It says, and the Lord shall bring you to Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Meaning what? No man shall save you, no man shall redeem you. We were sold into captivity. We were sold for diamonds, for gold, for oil. And still in 2025, we are sold through inflated medicine prices and economic dependency. Our forefathers, the prophet Ezekiel, also warned in Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 5, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic has thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Now, the traffic literally means the word trade. The term traffic literally means the word trade. So who was initiating the trade systems all across the Americas? It was the Roman Catholic Church, it was Europe, and it was America and other Eurocentric nations like South Afrikaners, Australians, New Zealanders, right? We can't forget about them. Canada, France, we can't forget about these nations because they built their empire on our backs. And it is that very trade or very traffic that keeps us in chains today. So when they want to have conversations about human trafficking and safety and human rights violations, they have no legs to stand on. They're walking, unfortunately, crippled because they have no moral standing on this matter. This is why Africa must stop investing in America. What does this mean for Africa? It means we must stop investing our future in America and other Eurocentric nations that profit from our pain, our suffering, our sorrow. Think about this for a moment. America has cut critical aid when lives were on the line. America has backed corporations that control Africa's wealth. The United States has used dependency as a weapon of influence. But guess what? They're not the only ones. Europe has manipulated markets to keep Africa exports undervalued. Imagine you have something worth $2,000 and you sell it overseas for $10. Let us left they left these nations vulnerable by refusing to sustain and support their development. Meaning, why are nations in Africa still struggling for basic things like electricity, right? Sustainable water, electricity, right? Housing, right? They profit for centuries while leaving while leaving Africans to pass away in poverty. In First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 41, it gives us the same script. It says, "And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves." This is exactly what is happening today. The merchants come not with armies, but with contracts, loans, and inflated pharmaceutical prices to enslave us all over again. But guess what, folks? There is a path forward. Investing in Africa, investing in the Caribbeans, investing in the diaspora of our Afro Hebraic communities, 12 tribes scattered worldwide. If we want true liberation, the solution is simple but urgent. We must invest inward. We must invest, number one, in the Most High, an understanding of who we are. We must invest inward by building Afro-centered pharmaceutical industries to not rely on foreign governments to decide whether one lives or whether one perishes. We must break the diamond dependency of Botswana and other nations that are exporting their natural goods and their minerals to outside sources. We must diversify into solar energy, electric technology, agriculture, and intra African trade. Why is it required for you to have a visa just to go to the country next door? Makes no sense whatsoever. Makes no sense whatsoever. They travel visa free all throughout Europe. All you need is proper licensing. That's it. We must unite across borders. Roads divided the continent of Africa, 54 countries, right? Also, the Scramble for Africa did this and divided it with fake borders. You could literally walk down the street, and on one side of the street is Mozambique, and on the other side of the street is Malawi. How the hell? Separated by a road. A road, y'all. Think about that for a second. We must invest in technology. Why are we dependent on oil coming in from overseas to transport vehicles when the technology to build vehicles on water, on steam, on electricity already exists? There's a guy in Zimbabwe, I think, that already created a prototype of vehicles traveling on radio waves, radio frequencies. Why the hell do you keep going through gas crises every season? Every 3 or 4 months is another gas crisis. Every 3 or 4 months, it's another crisis because we rely too much on external factors. Unite across the borders, and guess what? You'll undo all of the evils that Roe did by collaboration, solidarity, and self-reliance. Next, we have to hold betrayers accountable. Call out America. Stop being cowards. Call out Europe when they abandon you. Stand firm on your own sovereignty. Think about what Isaiah the prophet said in Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1 and 2. He said, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me." Meaning what? Meaning what? They walk down to go into Egypt, meaning your oppressor, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. So now, during biblical times, Egypt was the greatest empire on the earth. Now, you trust in Make America Great Again. You trust in MAGA. You trust in Make Babylon Great Again. Egypt represents bondage. Today, America is the place of bondage that that places the whole entire world in shackles and chains. And the Most High is warning us not to depend on a wicked nation for salvation. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 4. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. Lamentations, written by the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 17, gives us something insightful for all leaders to consider. It says, "As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not, that could what? That could not, that could what? That could not save us. When it's critical time, America will not save all. Botswana's medical crisis today is a prime example. It is the modern echo of Cecil Rhodes and the colonial exploitation of Africa's diamonds. It proves that America and Eurocentric nations cannot be trusted with Africa's destiny. We must stop investing in those who betray us and instead invest in ourselves. The Bible says in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5, thus saith the Lord, this is God speaking, cursed be the man that trusts in man and makes flesh his arm, whose heart departs from the Lord. Trust in the Most High, not in the merchants of this world. Trust in the unity of the 12 tribes scattered in this diaspora, not in American aid and IMF funds that cripple your economy. Trust in the future of Zion, not in Babylon's crumbling systems. This is the Forefront Radio, where we uncover the truth, we connect the past and the present, and prepare for a strong tomorrow. Until next time, stay watchful, stay faithful, and stay strong. If you appreciate the content we present on this podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, click the like button right there at the bottom. Donate to our efforts to teach at APHIELLEVI. Thank you so much for listening to the Forefront Radio. May the peace and blessings of the Most High be upon you all. Shalom. May the Most High bless you all.